Hello, and welcome to this week's Campus News Update. I'm Courtney Gear.
And I'm Colleen McCormick. On this week's update, we have tips on how to prep for a career after college and student views on a recent magazine scandal. Topping our news this week, apps on cell phones are increasingly getting more and more useful for college students. Students from every discipline, but especially in the communications field, should be up to date on the latest technology in order to be well informed in the workplace. I looked at two such apps that are changing the game for broadcast and journalism students.
Just a few weeks ago, the #1 application on the market was Meerkat. Linking through Twitter, Meerkat was a live video streaming service. Those with the app can videotape anything, and it will tweet a link out to your followers so they may watch the live feed. Last week, the app had over $14 million from investors, but the way technology moves, the app may already be dead. New app Periscope is now on the market. It does the same thing, but there are some differences.
I think the difference between Meerkat and Periscope is the user interface. So how do I interact with the app? Meaning, can I post a comment? Can I like it? How do I engage with the app? And I think those are some of the differences between Meerkat and Periscope.
Like Meerkat, Periscope is also a live streaming service, but it has a few qualities that seem to rise above Meerkat. The live stream is saved to the website for 24 hours afterwards so that viewers can watch it later and replay it at any time.
What did we talk about in our tip of the month?
Tires.
Tires. And?
More tires.
And more tires. What else?
All about tires.
All about tires.
A concern that students have is that the live streaming does not give you the opportunity to think about the ethics of posting, especially since more apps like Periscope and Meerkat are emerging. Stream and Tarsi are the Android versions, though their functionality leaves a little something to be desired. So what do you think these apps have to do with the communications profession?
So it's real time, which is a game changer because it puts live video in the hands of absolutely everyone who has a smartphone.
The usefulness of live reporting, breaking news, or going behind the scenes at a broadcast studio are just two of the ways that reporters can utilize live streaming apps. Students see even more uses for these apps.
You can see them being used for like debates, such as like governor debates or presidential debates. You can also see them going for sports, such as, a baseball game, live streaming those. Any kind of big event. It can be used for smaller events, obviously, too. I think they'll just be better for the bigger events.
No matter what the purpose is, it is important to be up to date on all applications through personal experience. College students who knows what is new and what is going to do well are students who are going to succeed in their classes and the future.
Links to all of these apps can be found on the QUTV Facebook page.
A University of Virginia fraternity is suing Rolling Stone magazine on the claims of defamation. The lawsuit comes after Rolling Stone published a story where the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity was accused of a gang rape in 2012. The local police department then launched a multiple-month investigation into the incident, in which they found that no evidence that supported the claim. The story has been retracted since it was discovered that the incident did not occur. The author of the story, Sabrina Rubin Erdley, and Rolling Stone's publication managing editor, Will Dana, apologized for the false reports. However, the fraternity has not been apologized to directly. This situation may have been avoided if Rolling Stone took a different approach to writing the story.
First and foremost, if you are ever going to imply that something happened or talk about a person, even if you don't name them, but you can the public can kind of triangulate and figure out maybe who they're talking about, you have to give that person an opportunity to defend themselves and say something. So the first mistake the reporter made was allowing the victim to dictate how the story was going to be investigated, and I believe that's what happened.
2015 has been a rough year for the mainstream media ethics. The Rolling Stone story comes on the heels of February's scandal involving NBC managing editor Brian Williams. QUTV asked students what they thought about the Rolling Stone article.
I think they should definitely be held accountable. Like, this is a situation of less journalism and more sensationalism. Like, if any local newspaper were to do this, they would definitely be thrown under the bus.
I think the Rolling Stone should be held accountable for posting information that wasn't true. I think that it was a very serious situation and they should have looked into it with more detail and gotten all the facts before posting information. I think that can be true with any story that has serious allegations.
Yes, they should be held accountable because it's important to get all the facts before they go accusing people of things, because it could ruin those people's lives, ruin their reputation.
I think the fraternity was right to sue Rolling Stone. The thing is, fraternities can get in serious trouble with serious allegations like that.
As a journalism student, I think what Rolling Stone did is wrong. But personally, I don't think Rolling Stone should be held accountable as much as the journalist should be, because the journalist is ultimately the one who did it. Is there some error on the copy editors or on the editors in general to not research it? Probably, but they should have been. They should have trusted the reporter enough to be able to do his own work, and that's kind of a fault with the reporter, not so much at Rolling Stone or the editors, and more on the journalist.
The Student Success Center has been working throughout the year to allow students to learn about the professional workplace. Specifically, every Thursday is used to prep students for life after college. The First Impressions Workshop is held in the SSC Computer Lab every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Students are given the opportunity to enhance their resume by bringing it in to be looked over. They also can learn about useful skills for an interview and are able to ask any other questions about the professional workplace. The staff in the SSC highly encourages any student to attend, even if they are not graduating seniors.
It's just a good time to have that, especially with seniors that are graduating. They're needing all the practice they can get with the upcoming jobs and interview openings, and just for anybody needing to practice, and it's always good to get that under their belt before the real thing is needed.
From workplace prep to grad school gains, as the end of the year quickly approaches, upperclassmen are beginning to consider graduate schools. HuffingtonPost.com released a story about the top 10 cities for postgrad students. The list looks at which U.S. cities have the highest job potential, the unemployment rate, the lifestyle rating, and other factors. They also took into consideration the pricing of living in these cities. The top 3 cities are Denver, Colorado, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, and Washington, D.C. Some students on campus are already considering continuing on with school after graduation and have their preferences for their graduate school.
I'm just looking for a grad school that can give me a lot of different opportunities, just like a variety of experiences, people to meet and network with.
I am looking for a bigger school atmosphere with a lot more activities and programming to do. And in addition, I encourage
Alpha Omicron Pi Sorority hosted the 3rd annual 5K color run on April 11th in honor of Shannon Peters, who was injured on Chestnut Street 3 years ago. Conditions were perfect for the benefit, and many people came out to run, walk, and donate to the Friends of Shannon Peters cause. Everyone who participated received a shirt, and at the finish line, participants received a colorful surprise for showing their support.
I enjoyed it. It was actually a blast. This is the first 5K I've ever done in my life. It's definitely not going to be my last. I thought it was a blast. It was really fun how they set everything up, and throwing paint is definitely a plus.
Coming up, which restaurant do viewers want to see most in Quincy?
And check on your forecast. All that and more. We'll be right back.
Yes. Growing up, I had one deaf friend, and that was the only deaf person I knew before coming to school here at QU. And now I regularly get to hang out and socialize with the deaf community, which has been awesome. Sign language isn't exactly like learning another spoken language, because you use your body, facial expressions, your hands are your instruments. So it is definitely learning a new language. It has its own grammar and syntax and everything. It's not exactly like English like a lot of people think it is.
Welcome back. With warm temps and little rain, it's been all sunshine and smiles around QU's campus this past week.
But it looks like temperatures may fall later in the week. QUTV's Allison Malone has the scoop. Allison?
Hi, I'm here with your weekly forecast. Starting on Friday, it's going to be 80 degrees, nice weather with partly cloudy skies. So we're not going to get too much of the sun, but it's still going to get the warmth of 80 degrees. And then on Saturday, we're going to drop down to 77 degrees. We are going to have thunderstorm, a little bit of rain that day, but still warm, nice weather. And then moving on to Sunday, it's going to be rain once again. 79 degrees, going up a couple degrees from Saturday. Still nice, warm days. And then on Monday, starting off the week, it's going to be a windy 66 degrees. Mostly sunny, and we are going to have a low of 43 degrees that day. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be a bright 65 degrees. Not as warm as the weekend, but we still get that nice warm sun. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have 67, once again going up a couple degrees, still in the 60s though, mostly sunny. And then Thursday, it's going to be 64 degrees, cloudy, but still a nice day. So overall, the weekend is going to be the most warmest days out of the week. And then the weeks are going to, throughout the week, it's going to drop, and the last day it's going to be 64 degrees. And that is it for your weekly forecast. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Allison. A recent QUTV Facebook poll asked students which restaurant they would like to see come to Quincy the most.
And the winner is Chick-fil-A. Coming in with a close second was Olive Garden. Colleen, what restaurant are you looking most forward to seeing in Quincy?
Well, I would really like to see Emo's Pizza come in. I'm from St. Louis, so I'm very biased in that aspect, but I really love their pizza, so that would be good to see.
If it does come, I'll have to try it out then. When we come back, we'll have the latest in QU sports.
And how goldfish are causing a stir in one town in Colorado. We'll be right back.
QUTV is more than a news outlet.
1 in 5 undergrads work at least 35 hours a week, year-round.
Students involved with QUTV learn life lessons, create lasting memories, and gain the experience needed to succeed in future careers.
Students need to be involved with QUTV as a viewer or as a participant because we need to know what's going on around our campus.
Knowledge is powerful, and QUTV News serves to inform not only the students, but the Quincy University community as a reliable and powerful news network.
Welcome back. Spring sports are in full swing with men's baseball facing a tough rival.
And news on Hawks softball's recent win. All that and more in sports is QUTV's Andrew McCulloch. Andrew?
Well, it was another action-packed week in Hawks sports, and we're going to kick things off with the men's baseball team who took on conference rival Truman State. Now, Coach Raby's team looked to extend its modest 3-game winning streak, and they would do so in Game 1, thanks in part to starter Jason O'Brien's solid start, as the team would win that game 8-3. Game 2, on the other hand, was not the same story. The Hawks couldn't capitalize off of their 10 hits. They only scored 2 runs, and Truman State would win this game by a final score of 4-2. Truman State now 23-13 on the season. QU 22-13. For QU, it was Dominic Miles going 2 for 3 with an RBI. Truman State's Zach Larkin goes 3 for 4 with the run scored. Transitioning from the baseball diamond to the softball diamond, the Lady Hawks softball team is simply trying to get to 500 on the season, and Coach Obert's team would have a great opportunity to do so against Lincoln University, who has struggled mightily as of late. Now, Game 1, it would be Tiffany Harbison, the sophomore pitcher, pitching a complete game shutout, and they would win 5-0. But could they win Game 2 as well? Well, we've got the action at the Marty Heinen softball complex. This Murphy Armstrong is the starting pitcher, and she's going to get some emotional support and some support on the field as well. As you'll see, ground ball to second base. Kelsey Lee to Alana Viken, turning the double play right there. And the bats would be going too for QU, as you'll see. This is going to be Rachel Scrum, with a double off of the left field wall. She's going to get into second base. How do you top that start with the bats? Well, senior Emma Tops will by hitting the ball over the wall for a 2-run shot to extend the lead. As I said, the Lady Hawks just had it going, and they would score in all different kinds of ways. As you'll see, a wild pitch here is going to score Lindsey Green, who homered as well. And that was all that Murphy Armstrong was going to need in this game. She would strike out this batter. Not her best start, but overall, it was enough to get the job done as the Lady Hawks took it 12-4, advancing to 18-20 on the season. Lincoln University just having a miserable year, 3-39. Emma Tops goes 2 for 3 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Lindsey Green also adds a home run of her own and knocks in 5 runs. Now, from the outdoor activities to the indoor activities, we're going to take it to the hardwood. The men's volleyball team looked to avoid a 3-game losing streak against number 2 ranked Lewis. Now, the two teams met on February 28th with Lewis winning in straight sets. And Coach Foster's team couldn't get a lead in game 1 or game 2, and they only momentarily had a lead in set 3 before ultimately losing all 3 sets again to Lewis. They would lose 3-0. Lewis is now 22-2 on the year. QUTV 13-13. For Lewis, it was Jeff Powell with 12 kills and 2 aces. For QU, it was Jared Kelso with 9 kills and 2 blocks. So we have quite the discrepancy in opponent records this week. Lewis is 22-2, and Lincoln University 3-39. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? And you know you can't find anyone better than QUTV who will cover your Hawks, so be sure to tune in every single week for your scores and highlights. For QUTV Sports, I'm Andrew McCulloch. I'm going to send it back to Colleen in the news desk.
QUTV's Randy Swope joins us now with the latest in weird news from around the web in this week's Hawkward. Randy?
Thanks, guys, and welcome back to another Hawkward segment where we bring you the latest and greatest strange moments from around the web. So let's get started. Well, it looks like Boulder, Colorado should be changed its name to Aquarium, Colorado. So take a look at this. Apparently, a handful of koi goldfish dumped into a lake just 3 years ago have reproduced their numbers to thousands. Biologists figured out that the root of this fish pollution after realizing that these exotic fish are not native to North America. It turns out they were illegally introduced into the lake. Now the lake houses 3,000 to 4,000 of these frisky fish, and these numbers keep growing. Biologists are working on removing the goldfish because they escaped to a different area of the lake, and they are threatening the other species that are settled there, also causing these other species to go extinct or even have viruses. Yikes. Well, maybe flushing your fish just isn't a good idea after all. And kids, keep the koi to yourselves. Awkward. Well, keeping with our animal theme here, look at this one. The lucky cat nearly used up all of its 9 lives last week. The 17-pound Siamese cat, Liam, was shocked on a power pole in Grants Pass, Oregon, and fell nearly 25 feet. Liam's owners tell them that they were laying in a bed one night when they heard a loud bang and the power went out. The owners then found Liam laying lifeless on the transformer at the top of the pole. The frantic feline then fell onto the ground, snagging a wire with a claw, and then landed in some brush. Liam survived the incident, but the vets say he may have a leg amputated. Take a look at this cat. It escaped its fate, although it may cost him a leg. And we just hope that he uses the rest of his 8 lives wisely, and that maybe the owners should keep the cat indoors from now on. That's pretty awkward. Now, changing topics from fish and felines to flat-out luck. Yes. This story will make you take a double take. One British couple became millionaires twice. David Long and his wife beat the odds of $283 billion to 1 when they won the second UK National Lottery's Euro Millions drawings. They won the jackpot again. But get this, the couple still live in a trailer down by the river, presumable in a blue-collar town, despite also winning a Jaguar car. Their latest plans, Long says he's planning on taking his wife on a fantastic honeymoon. Although congratulations are in order, we can't help but be a little jealous here at the studio. Our advice, Long to stay away from the lottery tickets over his honeymoon and leave a little loot for the rest of us and the UK. Awkward. Now that is all we have for you today on our show of Hawkward. I want you to come back next week and fill in and watch our next Hawkward segment. And now I'm going to turn it back to the news desk.
Thanks, Randy. Andrew joins us now at the desk. Andrew, what would you do if you won $1 million?
If I won $1 million, I don't think I'd be going to school anymore. I think I'd probably be just kicking it back, just living the life, and just enjoying myself. What about you guys?
Gosh, Courtney, what would you do?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'd do the opposite and put it towards my college bills and everything. What about you?
I think I would open a theater, and I'd try to do a bunch of shows.
That's nice.
Well, that's it for us this week. Remember, as always, to tune in online on Facebook or on Channel 97 on campus for more news anytime. For the entire QUTV team, I'm Colleen McCormick.
And I'm Courtney Gear. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next week.